Hi, and welcome to Lynes on Design. We have a great show in store for you today. Dave Miller, our friend from Superior Heating and Air Conditioning, is here with us, and we so plan this perfectly for it to be a glorious day outside, and it is just a little bit brisk today.
A little chilly.
I tell you, it is a little chilly today. We've got a lot to talk to you about, though. My favorite thing now is heating and air conditioning. I find that what people may think is not the most interesting subject really has a lot. We have a lot to learn. There are a lot of takeaways. What are we talking about today?
Well, we're inside our home show trailer, and this is our display that we'll bring to home shows and show everybody little pieces about what we do. And today, since we're coming to spring and allergy season, I thought we'd talk about indoor air quality and some products that we have and or that are out there in general.
Yeah, indoor air quality. Talk to me about what that even means.
Well, basically, the air inside your house is going to be 70 times dirtier or more polluted than the air outside.
Okay.
The better we build the homes, the more we seal them in, the less air gets to be moved around or fresh air gets to be brought in because they're so tight and well done that the air gets stale.
Yeah, I never really thought about that. So what are the solutions?
We want to filter the air, scrub the air, bring in fresh air, just things like that. You'll notice from time to time, colds will jump around from family member to family member.
Yes. I have noticed that actually. That and the stomach flu.
Right. Well, that's why we have these products to hopefully either catch those items, kill those items, or turn them into other things that are less harmful.
Okay.
So behind me is one of our filtration systems, and this has got like 5 stages of filtration. And it gets pretty complicated as far as some of the things it does. But for the most part, it's going to a couple pre-filters that are really going to catch the large items.
Okay.
And then it's going to have a UV light to kill items.
Oh.
And so the ultraviolet light does that. Now, what people don't know is viruses aren't alive to begin with, so you can't kill them.
Correct. Right.
So we want to catch them.
Okay.
And then also we have some other items in here that'll actually change the organic compound of, particulates or mold or things, and actually turn them inert so that they actually can't harm you anymore.
So this is part of the actual HVA system that would be in the house?
This one is a standalone, so we'll actually duct it in to the air conditioning system, but it'll run all the time.
Okay.
That way we're always filtering the air.
So talk to me about systems that I have that are existing now. Can I add this?
Absolutely.
See, this is what is the cool thing. Here we got our takeaway for today.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah, so it can be added onto any system. This guy is the kind of the cream of the crop because it does so much. We have some other guys here.
Look at this, guys. This is cool.
That is, it's called an eye clean, and this goes in the ductwork and a little bit less expensive, a little bit easier to install, but doesn't have any filters to replace, doesn't have any moving parts for the most part. And this is like an air scrubber. This is going to...
what does that do?
Kind of like the final phase of this one where it turns the chemical compound of items into other things. This is what it's going to do. It'll actually break down smells and things and bring them down to water almost, into CO2. So inert substances that don't harm us.
Okay.
Had a lot of luck with it.
It's funny, now that I'm an empty nester.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Is it different for someone who has 2 people versus you with a family of 6, right?
Well, they say the air inside your home is the air inside your family. So, but the fact of the matter is, everybody can benefit from it.
Okay.
We've had a lot of customers write us, tell us they go to the doctor less with some of the systems we install because they don't have their eyes getting puffy or their allergies or the colds that they get.
Well, it's interesting because even though today is brisk and cool, it's not even cool, it's cold.
It's cold.
Ronnie Lynn and I were talking about the pollen count is still really, really high.
Exactly.
And I like to leave my doors open a little bit.
Yeah, so you're fired.
Right,
you're fired.
Exactly. I'm getting creeping crud in there.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Okay.
I made the mistake years ago once. I opened the front door and the back door and had a nice breeze because it was great outside, and then I spent 2 weeks dusting.
You're exactly right. It was like, what is this yellow film that is all the way over here?
That's uncontrolled infiltration is what we call that.
So, even more importantly, we got lots of action here. This is sort of the place to be. Would one of these filters help with that too? I know obviously you're going to still have to dust, but it's got to make a difference.
It'll definitely cut it down, because the other thing I didn't bring up is that when these are working, they're actually causing dust to stick to other dust. And so you get larger and larger dust, which makes it easier to catch, easier to vacuum up and things like that. There is no replacement for a vacuum cleaner.
Okay.
So,
Oh,
but they absolutely will help, and when installed correctly. So.
Let me ask you a question about from a consumer point of view. I know nothing about these. How does it work? Would you come out to the house and sort of assess what my needs may be and then recommend?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Based on
service.
Yes. Based on budget, based on what your issues are, on how severe they may be, and to make sure that, you know, some people say they have a dusty house and they'll say, "Oh, get a good filter," and they'll sell you a filter. We want to find out that might not be the problem. There might be other issues that air is coming in from different ways that we have to stop, and that's your issue, and you don't even need a filter.
Well, let me shift topics a little bit then and talk about that. Is it ever make sense to have you all come in to sort of do a well house check, like a well baby check?
Sure.
Just to see kind of give me a baseline. Deb, it might be nice if 5 times a year you have us come in, or once a year, or whatever. Or eventually, here's a master plan I would give you.
Right.
Your HVAC, your 2 systems. How would all that work?
You just have us come out and tell us what your concerns are, and then we'll address it. Getting into like what is in your air and how much, that gets to a whole other level, and then your lab coats and sending stuff out.
All I want to know is, I want to know about my HVAC systems, when I can predict, or if I can predict, they're going to go out. Again, we were talking about the thermostats. Is there something I could do?
Sure.
And then with the filtering.
I mean, everything that you look at, it needs to be maintained. You maintain your car.
Yes.
You know, so you want to have your systems maintained and looked at. We don't have a magic wand, so we can't wave it and say it's not going to break. But we can shorten the gap, or you know, get us to a point where we know it's going to go or could go. That way, you're not in a situation where you're stuck having to make a large investment without even.
And I think the days of sort of fat, dumb, and happy, where we don't want to know anything, are long past. I would like to be proactive and have somebody educate me. I mean, to me, this is really helpful because it gives me an indication of things I didn't even know existed.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's funny, even in talking personally, I've got a cockatoo, big bird.
Yep.
They have dust, like baby powder.
Sure.
And I bet you that something like this.
Absolutely. It'll definitely help. I mean, it'll make it larger so it's easier to catch. It'll filter some of it out. Absolutely.
Is this sort of the first line, and then you move up into the...
Yes, it all depends on your needs. If somebody comes to me and they say that they have an issue, we stand behind everything we're going to offer you. Okay. So we don't want to be in a position where we say, you need a filter, and you feel like it didn't work.
Okay.
So
got it.
We want to come out there, and if it's where you really think you need something, then we're gonna put something together I can stand behind, and I know that it's going to do the job. And when you're done, you're gonna shake my hand and tell me you feel better when it's all said and done.
I tell you, every time I come, I learn something, and it's great to talk with you. Thank you for bringing us out here.
Sure.
This is pretty amazing in the trailer. And again, Dave Miller's always a treat to have. Stay with us. There's more to come here on Lynes on Design.